It is said that the hair is a crown you never take off. The hair means different things to both women and men across societies and cultures. But one thing we can all agree on is what we carry on our head and how we choose to wear our hair says a lot about who we are. But what if the choice of what to do with your hair and how to wear it was actually taken away from you? One of the first things that comes to many people's mind when someone's hair starts to fall off is cancer. But all hair loss is not a sign of cancer or that someone is going through chemotherapy. Hair loss could also be as a result of alopecia, which is thought to be an autoimmune disease where the immune system attacks hair follicles. It can affect just your scalp or your entire body, and it can be temporary or permanent. It can be the result of heredity, hormonal changes, medical conditions, or a normal part of aging. It can also affect anyone, regardless of age, gender, or race, though most cases develop before the age of 30. This condition affects roughly 147 million people worldwide.
When I realized was when I was about to go for my youth service. So I called my mom and I told her, and she was like, this is, because the thing is, it's not as if it fell off, because I didn't see the first hair, like the first bald patch. I didn't see the hair fall off, so it was really surprising. So we just agreed that, okay, this looks spiritual. You know, Nigerians, Africans are very spiritual people, so I didn't take it serious. I went to camp. So coming back from camp, we decided to, like, you know, seek medical opinion and also good spiritual help to prayers and, you know, holy waters and all that. So after I got back from camp, one bald patch became two became three. From three bald patches, I started having more bald patches that I couldn't even count them anymore. I didn't want to because I started feeling bad. At that point, I had my head looked like, you know, when they say rats chopped someone's head. Like, I had bald patches everywhere.
I did not realize it at first. It was my friend Isabel told me. So I went to school that morning. I was hooded up. I wore a hoodie and I went to class. Then I removed my hoodie. I removed the cap of my hoodie, and she was like, Olamide, what happened to your hair? Why are there circles in your hair? I was like, what circles? I really didn't pay heed to what she was saying because I felt she bickers a lot, so I just didn't pay heed to it. Then I got home and I checked the mirror and I noticed that yes, something was wrong because I could feel the circles in my head. So I went to my mom and I told her, and she noticed it too, that something was wrong. So that was the beginning of my alopecia journey.
Although there are no statistics that show the number of people living with alopecia in Africa, research shows that many African women between 40 to 60 years of age suffer from alopecia. The condition causes round patches of hair loss. For some, the causes have been associated with harmful hair care practices. In some cases, this loss of hair occurs throughout the entire body: scalp, eyelashes, eyebrows, armpits, and legs. It can be difficult to adapt to this condition mentally. For most people, alopecia is a traumatic disease that warrants treatment, addressing the emotional aspect of hair loss as well as the hair loss itself.
My dad took me to his workplace and we seek the opinion of the doctor there. And she was the first person that mentioned alopecia. She said, this looks like alopecia, but she's not so sure. So she's going to refer me to Lutz Dermatology Clinic. So she gave me a referral letter and I went there. So when it was my time to see the dermatologist, they just told me that, okay, this, that. They saw my hair, or what was left of it, and they just told me that, you have alopecia areata. You're not lucky, you're just one of the few unfortunate ones. So she told me that a treatment plan is only for partial hair loss, that they don't have any treatment plan for total hair loss. I felt relieved, like, okay, I could actually identify what was wrong.
We wanted to look for a diagnosis and we started trying doctors after doctors. One was like, does my father work with a chemical company? Maybe he brought something he wasn't supposed to, and stuff like that. And it got to a point, I was thinking it was cancer because I had heard of cancer stories and what have you. So I went online and I was like, okay, what type of cancer does not affect any other part of your body, because I know cancers definitely affects different parts of your body. It spreads as time goes on. So my point was, okay, what type of cancer does not affect? Because I knew there was nothing wrong with me. All I had was hair loss. So I wasn't having fever. I was totally fine. So I was like, okay, Google, what type of cancer does not affect any other part of your body? So I searched, all to no avail. And I continued searching. I still got nothing. So yeah, I still got nothing. So yeah, we continued searching till I found out that it was alopecia. It was really, 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 it was really lonely. It was really lonely because this is something I've never heard of. Although I was young and I really did not have much experience in the world, but this is something I'd never heard of.
Personally, dealing with alopecia is hard enough for those who suffer from it. While they must battle to come to terms with their hair loss, they also have to endure the questions, looks, and stigma that come with a lack of awareness and understanding of the disease.
The best way I've been able to deal with it is to be in your face, whether you want to or you do not want to. So, in as much as I do not go out bold on my social media, from Facebook to Instagram to Twitter, I'm not on TikTok, but all those social medias where you can actually share pictures and you can share videos of yourself, you would find a picture. In fact, by the time you come to my page, you're seeing me bald. By the time you're checking my bio, you're seeing I'm an alopecia there. So I'm in your face whether you want to or not. So before you can even project whatever ill vibes you have on me, I'm already telling you that I'm confident with this. I do not need your opinion.
I feel what has been keeping me going and how I've been able to manage it is that I believe that there is so much more to me than alopecia. There is so much more to me than alopecia. So when I stand out, when I stand up, when I leave my bed in the morning, I'm going out as someone who has much to offer than a physical look. Someone who has much to offer than what you're saying. And if you really can't see it, that's on you. It's not my fault.
Ignorance about alopecia can make life difficult for those who live with it. Alopecia does not directly make people sick, nor is it contagious. Not everyone who has alopecia loses all their hair, and it's not something anyone needs to be ashamed of. Unfortunately, far too many people with alopecia have been subject to misinformation and harmful assumptions, leaving them feeling insecure.
One situation that always comes to my head whenever I think of this is, or was, when I was working in a production company. I was working as a makeup assistant and we had a shoot that day. So a woman came in. I think she was one of the cast or something. I can't really remember. I know I was working. And there's one thing about me, in as much as I do not go out much being bold, whenever I'm in a space, especially a space I know I'm going to be in that space for so long, I would have to interact with people. I make sure, like, on day one, I'm letting you know that I am bald, that I do not have hair. So a lot of people, the staff, the crew members, they've already gotten so used to me, you know. I can, like, even the models, people who work with, they actually know that I am bald. So they are not surprised. I've even actually explained to a lot of them. But this woman was like a cast. Yeah, we've worked with her several times, but she has never seen me without my head covering because I use scarf. And they call me Alaja a lot because of that. So that day I was working on a model and she came in and she was like, ah! We were like, what happened? Ah, why did you cut your hair? Why did you cut your hair? What did you do? Like, I didn't answer. I just continued what I was doing. I was like, I just continued. Ah, this is not fine. No, what is not fine? Please grow back your hair. This is not fine at all. Did your boyfriend not complain? Ah, no. Ah, you look like a man. That was even it for me. You look like a man. This is not fine. No, Ah. I couldn't say anything, and I felt really bad because she said it in the midst of people, and she didn't even care to ask, okay, why? She didn't even reason that, okay, it might even be because of something else. She just assumed and tried to project. I don't know. It was just a really bad day, and it was my colleagues that were like, leave her alone now. Even if she decides to cut her hair, it's none of your business as long as she's okay with it. So I didn't even feel like educating her because she brought like a lot of bad vibes, like a lot of negative energy, and it was just a really sad day because at the end of the day, I was embarrassed because there were people there too that didn't know that I had alopecia. So it just decided to embarrass me for like on something that you actually know nothing about. So it was a really bad moment for me, and it always comes to my mind whenever I feel down. So another moment that comes to my head too sometimes where I was working for someone one time. So sometimes I go to a place, I go to a house, and okay, she actually knew I was bored, but I don't think I've ever been in a house before and removed my scarf. So that day, our children, one of them, they were actually really small kids. I think the eldest was like maybe 6 or so. Sister was like, I think 4. So they just came, they were playing, and they just dragged up my scarf and they just started singing around the house. Afari Kolondo, Afari Kolondo. They just started singing and they were running about my scarf. And I was just saying, give it back, give it back to me, show you get. I was trying to be staying and not let it get to me because I knew they were kids. And their mother sat there and she didn't do anything. She didn't stop them. She didn't say. I think she was just even laughing like, I need them all. Like she just felt like they were playing with me. But I feel like as an adult, you should have seen my reaction. You should have known that this is a very sensitive thing for me, and you should have even tried to educate your children. She didn't do that. She just till I managed to get my scarf from them, and that was a really bad day too for me.
So I was leaving my hostel one night and I was going to get something in the shop. I was leaving my hostel and it was really dark. But the way it was dark, you could see lights, like shadows and stuff like that. So you really could see that I was bound. And I passed, there were a couple of people talking and what have you. So I passed this guy. And immediately I passed, this guy said, "Scarecrow." And I was like, maybe I did not hear one. But I was walking with my friend. Maybe I did not hear. And I dragged that to the back. And I came to the back again. And I passed, like, when you're intentional. When you're intentional about it. So I walked slowly this time. And he said it this time. I was like, wow. I turned back and I looked at him. And he did not say anything. So yeah, that was one of the most awkward and most insane names I've ever been called. Yeah, Scarecrow.
There are several kinds of alopecia, and they all include some level of hair loss. There's patchy alopecia, which causes patchy hair loss. This can progress into alopecia totalis, which causes total hair loss on the scalp, and alopecia universalis, which causes total hair loss all over the body.
The percentage they actually know about alopecia firsthand, very, very small, very small. Like in my years of living on this earth, on this planet Earth, just 2 persons have actually firsthand acknowledged that, okay, this is alopecia, I know what it is. But the rest, they're all just a bunch of worried assumptions.
While there is currently no cure for alopecia areata, the burden of alopecia for many that suffer from it is more mental than physical. With more knowledge, awareness, and empathy, we can make things better for those who are living with alopecia.